Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the morning show right here on Main Street TV, where we have a room full of people this morning. And so here's the thing, the Boy Scouts are here, and that typically means we're going to talk about some food.
Yes. Oh, yes. Food
Correct?
is awesome. Yes.
Yes.
This one's chicken noodles and cakes.
It's a chicken noodle dinner.
Good deal. Well, I'll tell you what, we're going to find out all about what's going on this weekend, and who doesn't love some great chicken and noodles for a great cause?
I do like it.
You do?
Also, we got some drinks and stuff.
Drinks and stuff too? Okay. Well, we're going to find out all about that here in just a moment. Plus, our good friend Dennis Rinehart is in the studio, and we're going to talk about some hidden gems of our area as part of his series when he comes in and talks about all kind of fun places to visit that you may not know about. So let's have another message, and we'll be back right after that and talk about some chicken and noodles.
At Vinton County National Bank, we believe in supporting the areas where we live and work. Now, we'd like to honor those who also serve our communities. Our new Community Champions account is especially for first responders, veterans, active military, and anyone employed in the fields of healthcare or education. This account offers rewards, discounts, and other benefits to those who give so much to others. Vinton County National Bank, rewarding those who serve.
All right, and we are back, and as you can see, we have some folks from the Boy Scout troop. What is it?
Right. Well, this is Cub Pack 5058.
Cub Pack 5058. That's right, because the Boy Scouts will do.
Yeah, the troop will be here next week.
We'll talk spaghetti next week. We're super excited about that. Oh, yep. There you go. Now you
Right
know.
there.
Cub Scouts. All right, so tell everybody who you all are so that they know.
My name is Stephen Johnston. I'm the current Cub Master for Pack 5058.
All right. Who are you? Kaya talked
She's
for us
not
a minute
here.
ago.
She did talk a minute ago. There is a voice in there.
Kaya is one of our kindergartners. She's in what we call our lion pack.
That is so cool. Very fun.
So she's just starting her journey to the Cub Scouts.
Good
But
deal.
she's been doing it with her brother for the past couple of years.
Yeah.
That's nice. Is that your sister?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. She's first year in Cubs, but she's been in Cubs
Forever.
for at least 4 years. So.
For life.
I'm John Stabler. I am our committee chair, but I also we do work with our Weeblos as well. So.
Very good. And what's your name?
Hi, my name is Noah. I'm in 4th grade and I'm 9 years old.
And you were in the Cub Scouts.
Yep.
5058, as we saw on your arm. So do you love being in Cub Scouts?
Yes.
Okay.
Also, I'm going to join 4-H.
Oh, you are going to join. Oh, because
Sometime.
you're old enough. Are you old enough this year? Are you 9, you said? Okay, so you can do 4-H this year.
My sister's 5.
You're 5?
5.
Is she an annoying sister or a good sister?
She's a good sister.
Both.
Both. That I can understand. I get that.
Are you going to introduce you?
Oh, yeah, and Olive is here today.
What's your favorite color?
Hold on, we got to talk about chicken noodles first.
So, yeah, very good. All right, well, let's talk about the chicken and noodle dinner coming up.
So this Saturday at Wellston Hope Methodist Church, we are right there at the corner of First and New York. If anybody remembers Old Central or where Community Action is, we're catty corner from there.
Okay.
Or just up the street from Tom McWilliams Funeral Home. So
Okay,
we're
yep.
right there. So we'll have chicken noodles, be $8. We'll have chicken noodles, a roll, green beans, mashed potatoes, and a drink. So.
And that's all for $8?
So all that for $8. So, and then on top of that, what we're doing is we are going to have a cake auction at 7:00, or 6:30. Sorry, 6:30. At 6:30, we'll have our cake auction, and what we'll do is all the scouts will make cakes, and then some of the leaders will be making cakes as well to help raise money for the pack and keeping them going places. So,
Who's the best baker? Is it a contest?
It is a tough contest, and the designs that they come up with, because they get to design the cakes all on their own. So we've had some amazing designs over the years.
I'll bet.
So,
Kaya, are you going to bake a cake?
hold on. North, south. There
Yes,
we go.
there
yes.
we go.
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
yep. Are you baking a cake?
Yeah.
What's it going to be?
I
Or
don't
is it
know.
a surprise?
It's going to be a surprise.
Okay, it's a surprise.
Mine is a unicorn.
You're going to do a unicorn cake? Okay.
We had
I
a
do the.
What do you want to say?
I wanted to do the thing for like whenever I ask people for their orders, I want to do that.
Oh, well, we'll do that. We'll do that here.
Do you want to
Go for it.
practice? So people can come in and eat, and they can get it to go.
Get it to
and then,
go.
are you delivering?
Right now, I'm not sure we're going to have the
people, okay.
to deliver, so
All right.
it's going to will be a little tight. So
All
I
right.
think we're not.
Yeah, I'm the one who gives people the food. I ask them.
Okay, so when you go up to a table, speak into the mic. What do you say?
I say, what do you want for your food? We have a lot of stuff. And a chicken noodle dinner.
And we're going to have a variety
Okay.
of drinks. Usually we'll have gem beverages.
Yeah.
We do have Sunrush water
Oh,
this year,
cool.
so thanking Mike Bloom for that. And then we'll have our gem beverages like we always do, and then we'll have some other drinks available there as well. So
Very good. And again, this is important because, see, it's win-win for everyone, right? You get a great meal with homemade chicken and noodles, but also it's a great fundraiser for the Cub Scouts. And what does this money go to help?
It goes to help pay their dues. It costs $140 a year for scouts to participate, and
Yes.
we're currently in a position that we haven't had to worry about a scout to pay.
And no kid should not be able to be in the Scouts because they
Exactly.
can't afford it. That's crazy.
So we've been very blessed over this last year, and from our success from the cake auction last year and some generous donations, we are pretty much able to. If a scout wants to participate, or you guys know anyone that is interested and money is a barrier, don't let that be. Come to our
Yeah.
pack, and if you have an interest, we'll make sure you get put in.
Yes.
So.
And, listen, life's hard and kids deserve to do whatever they want to do, and being part of Scouts or 4-H or any of those or all of those is very, very important. So I feel like as a community, we should come together and help these kids.
Also,
Yeah.
they can't pay for schools sometimes.
What?
School.
Like whenever poor people, they can't buy.
For camp and stuff like that. Yeah.
Oh,
So
okay.
the money helps pay. I mean, it also helps like if we go to camp or if we go to do activities, things like that.
Gotcha.
It helps to cover all that. We bought some equipment to do things like their Pinewood cards. Like we've got the Pinewood Derby coming up Thursday.
Yes.
So we'll that pays for all of those items. Helps us to maintain our Pinewood track. We are blessed. We have one of the it's a 3-lane aluminum track, so allows us to. It's sought after. It's one of those things.
Okay.
That, it's nice. It works well. We've actually
That's
got
great.
it. It's got a electronic timer down at the bottom that tells you how fast it would be if it
Oh,
was
this is some
an equivalent
high-tech
cycle.
stuff.
Yeah, so it's been nice.
Yeah,
Very
sometimes
cool.
it's a little too high tech for us.
Yeah. Sometimes you're like, I just want the normal thing. No, that is awesome. And again, this chicken and noodle dinner is to help these kids out. Plus, they have to serve. They have to work.
Yep.
They're learning skills along the way, which is
Yeah.
great.
We have them pick up trays and things like that, so they're learning how to interact with folks at the tables, having those conversations. It kind of like as we get into Boy Scouts when they do merit badges and things like that, it helps them to interact with different adults.
Yep.
And that's the same sort of thing here. We're working we're serving and helping others by making sure the tables get cleaned and things like that as well. So
That's right. Well, very good. So what's your favorite part? Do you love, Olive's here. She wants to be a
Bye.
honorary, can she be an honorary Cub Scout?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Very good. So what's your favorite part of being in the Cub Scouts? Talk into the mic.
Mostly is because we get to go on fun adventures every day, and we always find new things about it.
Yeah, fun adventures.
We got to do the hike out at Lake Catherine with the community.
Cool.
So we were out there with them, and they got to learn from the naturalists that were out there. So
Also,
that was
the
kind of
same
fun.
day whenever it froze.
Yeah,
It was hard for me to like get on it because I was like,
some of the footpaths were.
Oh, I'll
were
bet. I bet
iced
there was
over
a little
bit.
icy over
So
there.
it was kind of nice. The scouts, we had Boy Scouts and Cub Scouts, so we helped clear some of the boardwalks to help make it safer for others too. So
See, they're always helping. I cannot wait for 10 years for you to bring this video back out. This is going to be classic. Yep, just
So,
like that.
yeah, it's. We have lots of characters.
Yes,
And
I'll bet.
We have
I'll bet.
characters, so.
you don't want to put too much weight on the cars.
Oh, yeah, with the Pinewood Derby, he was
Oh.
talking about,
If you go to
it can only be 5 ounces.
Yes.
So you get a block of wood that weighs, about an ounce and a half, and then 4 tires,
You
maybe
put
another
stuff
ounce.
on
So
it, yeah.
you got to find a way to make it look like you want.
As half an ounce. So
But
Yeah.
if you make it too if you make it like a feather, it would go super fast and it would break a wheel right off the train.
Oh,
We have had that. So
there's a method to the madness, huh?
you have folks that like it right at 5 ounces, and then you have folks that are like, I want it super thin, super light, and
Streamlined.
streamlined. Yes.
Yes.
They just
So
want it so they can win.
there's actually one called the Super Wedgie is the design.
The super wedgie.
Yeah.
I like
So-
that. Sounds good. Well, very good. Well, we hope that everybody comes out. What are the hours of the chicken and noodle dinner?
So 4 to 7, but we'll
or
start
we run out.
or till we run out. So Vanessa Irvin, we've got her famous chicken noodles. So that's going to be exciting. But we'll be 4 to 7, and it's at 219 East First Street in Wellston.
Okay.
And it is the Hope Methodist Church. They're
$8 for plates.
$8 for your plate. Includes
Drink, a roll, green beans, mashed potatoes, and some
All
homemade
the
chicken
good
noodles.
stuff.
So yes, and the chicken, some of the chicken for this is also going to be pasture raised chicken. So
Very
it
good.
is kind of exciting.
Yes,
And then,
that is.
6:30, we're going to start the cake auction. We will be on Facebook Live doing that as well. So if you're not able to make it in,
Oh, so you can bid that way?
We
did
have
that
Oh,
way.
the
cool.
last 2 years we've done that. So
Be mindful with us. We're still. It's kind of a little.
there is a delay from what's on Facebook and what we get. So
Okay, so you kinda have to go a little
we
slower,
We go a
maybe.
little slower.
Yeah.
It's Pack 58 events because scouting changed some rules, so we can't have it on the actual pack page. So we created an events
Ah,
page.
I gotcha.
So,
Okay. That makes
But
total
it'll be
sense.
Pack 58 events, and you can bid and help
On
the kids
those
out.
cakes.
And we've had folks pay us Venmo, PayPal, all kinds of different ways. So
Listen, we're real flexible on how we'll accept your money.
if you,
We'll take it any way that we can get it.
if you got money, we'll find a way to get it
That's
from you.
exactly right. That's right. All right. Well, we appreciate y'all stopping by. Is there anything else that we missed?
Well, next week we've got Boy Scout stuff coming, so we'll have
That's right.
the Troop 57 spaghetti dinner and auction coming up too.
I'll be
We'll
back.
focus on that
I'll be
next
back
week.
next week for that.
Very good. All right. Well, thank you so much for coming in. We greatly appreciate it. And good luck this weekend.
As
Make
always,
sure you
very
do a
much.
good job serving, okay?
As always, thanks for having us.
Oh,
Yeah,
anytime,
we
anytime.
love
And
it.
we'll see you next week. All right. Well, our good friend Dennis is here. We're going to talk about some fun places in our area. So we'll be back right after this.
This just in.
The Telegram News has a new website.
TheTelegramNews.com.
Same dedicated coverage.
Same trustworthy news with a brand new look.
Covering Jackson and Benton counties and surrounding areas.
Locally owned and operated, TheTelegramNews.com has its finger on the pulse of the community.
Stay up to date on local events, high school sports, and breaking news.
TheTelegramNews.com.
Subscribe today at TheTelegramNews.com.
Check it out.
Saturday, August 16th is Southern Rock Woodstock in the Gallipolis Fairgrounds. This event will feature 3 decades of original artists and legends, such as Leonard Skinner, 38 Special, and Molly Hatchet. In light of this event, Total Media will be giving away 4 VIP tickets. For a chance to win these exclusive passes, comment your favorite Southern rock song, and our staff will vote on which one is the best. Good luck, and may the best man rock out.
All right, and we are back with our good friend Dennis Rinehart, and we are going to talk about, well, what are we talking about
Jackson
today?
County.
Okay, so Jackson County. So last time you were here, we talked kind of over in the Ross County area,
Yes.
didn't we?
Yes.
Okay, and so we're going to talk about some things, some fun hidden gems here.
Yes.
Because
yes.
you know all this stuff. I want to go out sometime and hang out with you and go see
I'd be
some
glad.
of these
I'd
places.
be glad to. I
It
love
would be really fun.
showing people these things.
Yeah,
I really
for sure.
do.
For sure.
I really do.
So what are we going to talk about today?
Well, before I start, I'd like to read something from my favorite poet, Mary Oliver. It's a line from her poem that's called Invitation, and it encourages people to pause and appreciate the beauty of nature even in a broken world. It is a serious thing just to be alive on this fresh morning in this broken world. Do not walk by without pausing to attend to this rather ridiculous performance. It could mean something, it could mean everything. And we're going to talk about some of those things. We're going to talk about some of the beauty of our own county.
You know, and I think that's perfect because no matter what's going on in your life, whether, you just be frustrated with the political scene or, you have illness or whatever, we all can enjoy the beauty of nature.
Well,
we are so blessed here with our area.
You got to stop and enjoy life.
Correct.
Every day, just be thankful.
The stop and smell the roses thing,
Yes,
I mean,
yes.
there is certainly something to that.
Yes,
For
yes.
sure.
So we're going to look at some really beautiful areas in Jackson County so people know what we have here.
Love that. I'm so excited about it. Well, let's get into it.
Okay. Well, let's see some pictures up there.
Is it all right if we start with Hammer Time?
Whatever you want to put up there,
Okay.
we'll talk about it.
And
I'll start with Catherine because it's at the top.
Okay.
if you're wondering what we're all doing here, Olive is here today, so she's a little needy.
Okay, everybody's pretty familiar with Lake Catherine, although there are some people in Jackson that don't go out there.
Which is so strange.
This is a nature preserve that's very unique in Ohio because it really protects some things that are really rare here. And
Yes.
it was donated to the state by Eddie Jones. He built the lake. There are people that know more about it than I do, but it was built back in the 1940s, I believe, and it was a Girl Scout camp at one time. It was a boys camp, and then eventually they gave it over to the state as a preserve. Now, these pictures are along the Pine Ridge Trail, which is about a little bit over 2 miles. And you'll cross this little bridge that comes out of the spillway from the lake, and then there's a waterfall below it.
It is absolutely stunning.
Yes, it is.
Dennis, can we talk for a minute about, and I know that you aren't like an expert on this, but let's talk for a minute about Lake Catherine and why some of the rules are a little different there than what, people want to go hike. They want to take their dogs. They want to take lunch. They want to do, some of these things. But there are more rules involved with a nature preserve.
Yeah, the whole point of it is to protect these places.
Yes.
They want to have something like it was back in the old days, pioneer times. They want everything to revert to what it was. And
Sure.
walking around can cause a lot of damage
Yes, it can.
to some sensitive things. And that's one of the reasons why. The other reason why is it's dangerous because of the cliffs out there. And there have been people that have been injured, and this is the only preserve that you can't get an off-trail permit in Ohio.
Okay.
Yeah, and this is winter.
And there's reasons for that.
Yes, yes. This is part of the Lake Trail in winter, which is their newest trail. It's a shorter one.
I have not been on that trail yet.
Oh, it's nice. It follows and along the lake and gives you views of it and everything.
Now, is everything really clearly marked out there? So
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
You've got the Salt Lick Creek Trail. You've got that Pine Ridge Trail there.
Excuse me,
the
sorry.
lake Trail, and the Calico Bush Trail. So you have, 4 trails. That's that bridge in winter right there. It's a really beautiful, scenic place.
Yes, it
just to
is.
pause and stand there,
Look at the sun coming through. It's just
And then that is
beautiful.
that is the spillway, looking up towards the lake when you're standing on the bridge. And I'm sure many people have seen that, but it just never fails to, really impress you to see it. It's really beautiful.
And if you're thinking about, well, I'll grab my fishing pole and go on out, or my kayak and go on out, there's a whole lot of rules about that too. It's not impossible,
but
you have to get permission.
Yeah, you can
before
fish.
you start.
You can fish.
Just ask.
Yes, but you have to have permission, and you have to have a permit, and there are only certain days, I think, that you can go out there. And it's a long haul to the lake from the parking lot to take your boat.
There are many, many other probably more convenient
Yes.
places to,
But once you're down on the water, I've never done it, and I live right next to it. It looks like Canada. I mean, there are all these hemlock trees that come down close to the water, all these cliffs that surround it and everything. So it's not only the fishing, it's the beauty of seeing that place. It's unique. It really is. This is along Pine Ridge Trail too, what you would see, the type of sandstone rock and things like that.
And this is a man-made, lake, which is
Yes, and
wild.
What's impressive about it is that this construction was done during World War II, so it took equipment to do it. So that shows how much influence Eddie Jones had to be able to do that.
Because nothing happened during World War II.
Right, and he built his lodge out there called Derry Orman, and there's a group called the Friends of Lake Catherine.
Yes.
And they've been working hard to restore that lodge so it can be used by the public for different things. But he had that lodge. His brother had a lodge across the lake, a cabin, and I think there were a couple other cabins in there, the relatives and stuff.
Yes.
And then they had that.
Yep. For the love of God, all. Okay.
Again, that's along the Salt Lick Creek Trail, sort of transitioning into fall there. And it is the longest trail of the ones that are
Are there
out there.
any that would be easier to navigate for somebody versus
Yes.
ones that are a little more challenging?
Calico Bush Trail would. It would be the one. It's probably a mile or less, and it's relatively flat.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I know, sometimes if you have any issues at all, some of these trails can get a little wild.
I would recommend that one for an easier trail, but the most interesting trail, I think, is the Salt Lick Creek Trail.
Okay.
Because of the rock formations. And then in the spring, the flowers that you will see, the displays down near the creek are just really something.
Really cool.
Yeah.
And it's neat, as it is a nature preserve, that some of these, flowers that you wouldn't see other places, you still get to see here.
When we get these flowers up here, I have some very interesting things to say about them. Okay, well, there's bluebells, and you will find those in low, moist areas a lot of times. And it's really unique because different flowers have different pollinators. And the bluebell has butterflies and hummingbirds because they are long-tongued pollinators. And the bluebells only produce 4 seeds each year, and that's it. And other flowers produce a lot more.
Oh, yeah.
And you'll find these out at Lake Catherine. They're just massive areas.
Everywhere.
Yes. Okay, this is Trillium, which is another plant that you'll find there. And it's one of the reasons for Lake Catherine to protect that plant there. In some areas, it's been kind of wiped out, but in Lake Catherine and the surrounding area, we find them.
That's great.
Okay. This is a trout lily. And
I'm not familiar with that one.
There are white and yellow ones. The reason why they're called a trout lily, if you look at that leaf, it has like a molting on it. Like those spots, that looks like the back of a trout, supposedly.
Okay, yeah, I see that.
Okay, and the interesting thing about this plant is it has a relationship with ants. The ants, what they do is they protect the seeds of this plant, and they actually help plant them. In return,
Really?
this plant feeds them. It has a substance it produces that the ants like.
So you don't want to plant this around your house.
Yeah, you want to attract ants.
Let's have all the
But,
ants in our
it's one
house.
of those symbiotic relationships.
No, that is really cool.
Yeah.
That's nature at its finest right
Yeah,
there.
and it's really interesting to see the dependencies and stuff of different things, how they're interconnected.
Sure. I will say, especially if you're out at Lake Catherine in the spring or summer or whatever, make sure that you do spray your ankles with, and things with bug spray, because there's a lot of. I got a major case of chiggers out there one time that I still have nightmares about.
Yeah.
So, but because there is all of the nature and stuff, there's certainly some bug situations too.
This is one of our native orchids. It's called showy orchis.
That is gorgeous.
And the thing about our orchids that I'll talk about is that they depend on a fungus. If that fungus isn't there, they're not going to grow.
Really?
And they produce seeds that have no energy reserves. So what happens is the fungus breaks the seed open and feeds the seed. When the plant gets big enough to use photosynthesis, then it feeds the fungus. So
Okay.
you're not going, if you took that and you tried to plant that in your garden, it would die because the fungus is not there. It would
Hopefully.
not stay. but it's very beneficial.
That is
it's a good
interesting.
relationship.
Again, nature doing nature things.
Yes, yes. Okay, this is
those are
that
beautiful.
is mountain laurel, and it's sometimes called calico bush, and that's what that,
versus the trail. Yeah,
that's
via
what the trails are named after because there's a lot of it there. Probably the best place to find it when it's blooming is up on Graveyard Cliff.
Okay.
Which is the right by the entrance. When you're going down to where the boat launch is at, you'll see a cable there. There's a small family cemetery there. And you walk through the cemetery and go to the back, and you're above the lake on a cliff. But an interesting thing about mountain laurel or calico bush, the reason why it's called calico bush is because it looks like the fabric like the pioneers used. But they've got these filaments that are part of their stamen, and they're under tension. When an insect lands on that flower, it goes, poof, and it flicks the pollen, and it can shoot the pollen like 5 inches, and it just covers the insect with it.
Really?
Yes. Yeah.
It's like, here you go.
Yeah. whether you want it or not, here it is. Here it is. So that's what it does right there. Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Just fascinating, some of these things. We don't pay enough attention to them.
Correct.
Okay, this is pink lady slipper, and it's another native orchid. And so if it's an orchid, it has to depend upon that fungus, okay? So it has to do the same thing. The fungus feeds the seeds, and then when it gets big enough, it feeds the fungus. If you look at the flower on that thing, it's an interesting flower. It's got 2 entrances. And the insect that is best able to do it is a bumblebee because it is bigger than regular bees. But it'll enter one slit in that flower, and it can't go back out that slit that it came in. So what it does is it crawls through there, and it coats itself with the pollen from the plant, and then it forces its way out.
So it does escape.
It does escape.
It
does escape, but that plant makes sure that it's covered with the pollen to do that.
That's convenient.
It is. It's a beautiful plant. It's hard to find, but it's in places in Lake Catherine and out on the Pine Ridge, which is part of that area also. You'll find
Dennis,
that.
when is the best time to see these flowers, or do they bloom at all different times?
They bloom at all different times, but if you go in April, you'll start to see some of the first wildflowers that'll come out and stuff.
Great.
These orchids are kind of late bloomers. So I would say the end of May, maybe June, if you can see those things.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. These pictures are going to be Hammertown, and I really want to talk about something before we go on, because I think some people really need some credit, and I want to give credit where credit's due. There's about 10 miles of trails around Lake Hammertown. And they were constructed by the Jackson County Horsemen's Council.
They killed it out there.
They got a grant, and volunteers cut and cleared the trails and set up picnic tables at places. And you'll see tie posts for the horses and those sorts of things. And the council did this at no cost to the city. And they advertised it in a horseman's newspaper, and it attracted people from all over the state that come there to ride their horses.
Yes.
Okay.
And I just can't think of a more beautiful venue than that to, bring your horse out and relax and. Yeah. But you can also walk.
Yeah, I was going to say that. Another group that's been working this past year very hard has been Jackson County Forward. And that's a nonprofit group that's dedicated to improving the lives of the people in Jackson County.
Absolutely.
And what they've been doing is mapping these trails for an app that's called All Trails. And so that enables it to be used for multiple purposes, such as the hiking and walking or whatever, not just the
mountain biking.
Yes,
all of those things.
So they're complementing what the Jackson County Horse Council did. The other thing they're going to do is they're going to put up signage, and some of that signage is going to explain what the Jackson County Horsemen's Council did. Yes. And what they continued to do.
As you say, pay credit where credit is certainly due.
That's right. And people, they go out to the lake, but they don't understand what they can see on the trails and stuff. Yes. So what we're looking at are things that you can see on the trails around Hammertown. This is in spring, and that's a redbud there.
Redbud, yes.
Yes, okay. Okay, that's a small waterfall, which is downstream from where the trail is at as you walk around that trail. 10 miles of trail, that's a long way. So I would suggest coming in on the Beaver Pike side if you're walking. That way you can reach some of these little waterfalls I'm going to show you.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't think a lot of people know that you can get to Hammertown through the Beaver Pike side.
Yeah, it's got that entrance. Hammertown is one of the best places to watch a sunset from, and I just enjoy
Never dawned on me.
Oh man, the backside opposite from the shelter house. Like if you continue on out, what is that, South Street or High Street? South Street, and just keep driving straight, you'll come to Hammertown that side. And when the sun is setting, it's just gorgeous, So, there's a picture of a sunset from that side of the lake. It's one of the best ones you could ever see. Again, that's on the trail in winter, the creek coming down through there. And this is, again, one of those sunsets. And I happened to catch this guy out here paddle boarding. And I thought that just made a great picture with that sunset right there. That looks like something you'd have on a travel.
I was going to say that looks like a brochure.
Yes. That's a smaller waterfall. The horse trail goes right above that.
Super cool.
And this is the lake, how calm it is in the evening from that side of the lake I told you about. And I just highly recommend just driving out there in sunset in the summertime, winter, whatever, and just sit there in your car and just enjoy the sun going down.
Again, stop to smell the roses,
that's
right?
Right, exactly.
Yeah, soak that in.
Yeah, and that's that road that's will take you on the backside where I was talking about to watch the sunsets. Yeah. And there's Hammertown, the side from Beaver Pike in the fall with the reflections, beautiful reflections in Hammertown.
Yes, absolutely.
Again, more sunsets. They always look different, too.
Oh, of course.
I mean, they never look the same.
Depending on what the clouds are doing.
Yes.
So I think I've told you this, but I have a friend that's an avid fisherman. He competes all over the country, and he stopped. But he lives in Athens, but he stopped down at the tap room one day to tell me. He said, "Man, I got to fish out at Hammertown." He said, "I don't know why I've never known about that." He said the water is crystal clear.
Yeah.
You all have done such an amazing job out there. I mean, he just stopped by to tell me that, and I was like, cool. He works at a brewery too.
It's our drinking water.
But yeah, and I said, well,
so
that
it has
is
to be
our.
protected.
I said
Yes.
it is our local water source, and he said, oh my God, I could see. 20 feet down. It was unbelievable
It's
being out there.
one of the clearest lakes in the area.
It is.
It
so
is.
clean and so nice.
Again, another picture
And we need
of
to
the
keep
sunset.
it that way.
That's right.
Please.
That's right. Again, along the trail, the horse trail there at Hammertown. And that's another small waterfall that's downstream from the horse trail there.
Yep.
Okay,
that's a great picture.
This is interesting because if you hike far enough, you'll come to the spillway.
Mm-hmm.
And where the water comes out of the spillway, there's actually, below that, there's a waterfall. And this is this waterfall, and it's very pretty.
Cool.
And I recommend trying to reach it from the Beaver Pike side.
And what is that? Hammertown Lake Road? Is
Yes,
that what that's called?
the
I thought so.
Hammertown Lake Road. Yeah,
you'd turn left off. I mean, if you're coming from Jackson, you'd turn left off of Beaver Pike and head down that way.
Right. Again, the horse trail goes right above that little waterfall right there. So, I mean, it's like only a few yards from it. So
that's cool.
It makes it really pretty. Now, this is the waterfall, the bottom of it, that comes out of the spillway. And that's what you can see if you're riding horses or if you're walking, okay?
Yeah.
And you come from the Beaver Pike side. So, really pretty. A lot of people don't know that's there.
Are those trails marked from the Beaver Pike side as well? I mean, or do you have to know where you're going?
Well, right now, I think they use like paint on the trees, but one of the things that Jackson County Forward is going to do is help and make them mark
signage?
a little
Okay.
bit better than the signage. They're going to mark the trailheads for one thing.
Yeah.
And on those signs where they mark the trailheads, they're going to, put what the Horse Council people have done out there.
Okay.
That concludes Hammertown.
Yeah. Okay, this is my favorite area. This is Colton Wildlife Area, which is off of Raysville Road.
And I've never been out there.
Oh my gosh, this is a treasure. It is a treasure of Jackson County that people do not know it's there.
Sure.
And there are 2 big waterfalls in there, and there are several small ones, such as this one. This one's very close to Ophir Falls, and this is a picture of it in the spring, that waterfall.
Is this open to the public? Like
It is
or do you have to have a permit situation?
No permit.
Okay.
It's a wildlife area, so there is hunting out there. So during hunting season, I would be careful out there, wear something bright colored, that sort of
Sure.
thing, and
Don't wear antlers.
No, don't wear antlers. There's no trail, but what there is an old Jeep trail.
Okay.
And so you can easily follow these Jeep trails down to the creek and then follow along the creek to get to the waterfalls. And so this is walking down along the area to get to the waterfalls.
Okay.
Yeah, and there's another smaller waterfall coming in from Raysville when you walk down into it. It's just in spring, some wildflowers. I'm not quite sure what those are. They look like phlox.
Yeah. Yep.
Different looking.
Yep.
Okay, again, a small waterfall in there in Colton Wildlife Area.
So how do you get to this, Dennis?
Okay, if you go out past the State Highway Patrol office, I'm going to take these out. Sorry, I think I'm getting feedback at them. You go out past the State Highway Patrol post, and you'll come to what says Sunnydale Road right before you get to the overpass. And you go down Sunnydale Road. There's a big junkyard there, you know.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
And then you'll come to Raysville Road. Well, follow Raysville Road out. Jackson Hill Road will go to the right. Keep following Raysville Road to the left.
Okay.
And you'll come in the wildlife area, and what you'll see is a pull-off over there.
Is it marked or? Is
No.
Oh, okay.
But you'll see there's a pull-off where people have been parking there. And if you walk through a little grassy area in the back, you'll see where they put metal posts up to keep, four-wheelers and stuff out. And you walk down that trail, that Jeep path, and it'll bring you down to the creek. Follow the creek on the right-hand side, and you'll come to this. This is Ophir Falls.
Holy moly.
It's an amazing place. It really is.
And how hard is that to navigate?
It's not hard. Like I said, the Jeep trail is pretty well visible to go down and stuff. Yeah. That's another smaller waterfall, and it's coming in from another access point. If you go past the pull-off point I told you, Raysville Road will go to the left, and eventually you'll come to a yellow gate. Park at the yellow gate and follow that Jeep trail down, and it'll take you down to the bottom where the creek is at. And again, follow these creeks down is what you want to do. And that's the waterfall that's at the bottom of it. I call them two sister waterfalls. You have one, Ophir Falls, is in one hollow, and then this is called Opal Falls, and it's in another hollow.
Okay.
Now, when you go to see this, go on the right side and walk a ways until you see there's a safe way to get down to it, because it's got some pretty steep areas on this side that we're seeing right there. To me, that's my favorite. That's the most beautiful. You can go around behind that waterfall.
No.
Oh, yeah.
That's like in a movie.
Yeah, you can just walk around and you can sit there and you can watch the water come down. In the wintertime, they freeze. They completely freeze over. So you can be behind this wall of ice that's there and stuff. So
crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And that's another picture of Opal Falls right there.
Depending, again, how wet it is out, how much water's
flowing,
right?
Right now they're flowing pretty good.
I'll bet they are.
Yeah, well, and every year, this is a good time to see the waterfalls.
Sure.
And you don't really want to go down there in the summertime anyways, because we were talking about the chiggers and the ticks. And,
oh, boy.
It's not as pleasant. And you can just see so much more when it's like that.
Hey, it's going to be 70 degrees today. I feel like that would be a pretty good day to go.
It would be. It would be. Okay, again, another little creek that you'll see going along to that last falls, Opal Falls. And there again is a close-up of that same little waterfall. And that's it when the creek is dried up, see. This is in fall, so you're not going to see much water coming over it then, but it's still pretty with the foliage and everything right there. Again, fall pictures of Colton Wildlife Area. Colton Wildlife Area is about 1,700 acres. And there's some interesting history behind it. Above Ophir Falls, there was an old Boy Scout camp, and I have a few pictures of what the cabins looked like. And what they did was they dammed the area in front of it to make their swimming area.
Oh.
Now, when you go there today, all you'll see is a pipe that was pounded in the rock that they had a ladder probably attached to, so they could jump off the rock into the water. And
then get back out.
Yeah, now the dam has been torn out because after the scouts left, people were out there and somebody got injured really bad. I don't think it was a fatality, but it was really bad. And so
good.
after that, they said, we're going to keep people from doing this anymore. Now, that's a very old picture of the swimming area, and you can see that ladder coming down there.
So that's not there anymore, then?
The water's not there. The ladder's not there. And that cabin, see the cabin?
Yeah.
That was one of the scout cabins. That's what they looked like when they were there at Camp Ophir Falls. That is what they looked like, a close-up of it. The reason why I circled that is you can find little foundation pieces and stones. I don't know what that is. That's a drain or whatever. But I think I found some of that, but everything else is gone.
Oh, so the cabins are gone.
The cabin's gone. Any evidence of the cabin being there is not there.
Interesting.
Now, one of the things about this place, too, was that there was one of the iron furnaces that was out there.
Okay.
It was called Ophir Furnace. And what I circled there, you can see it says a store, the furnace, and I imagine those little dots there represented on that map, company houses. Yeah,
The
that were
company
there.
store, the company houses.
Yeah, and the over furnace didn't last real long, a few years. A lot of those furnaces, the tops would blow out of them. And these people invest a lot of money, and I imagine they lost some money on over furnace. But what they did was, I know this, they carted off the block and they used it in a furnace over near Wellston called the Eliza furnace.
Okay.
Back in those days, they would utilize that block for house foundations, for bridge abutments, those sorts of things. I can't find the location of it. I asked Bob Irvin, that's the local historian, so he told me all this stuff you got to do, to find records, and then maybe you could find where the location was at. Sure. I have found stone lined wells that were there that evidently they may have been to some of these houses or somebody else's residence at one time. We're talking about the mid-1800s, though. I mean, a long time ago was when Ophir Furnace was there.
For sure.
Yep. Okay, these are these guys swimming.
How cute!
I do not know how old this picture is.
Oh my gosh!
I really don't, but I believe those are the scouts.
They're having so much fun.
And they're swimming in that dammed up area that's there below Ophir Falls.
Yep.
So I have no idea. That's an old picture.
Yes, it
that's
is.
from. All you have on pictures? Okay. All right. Good. Great. Well,
very good. Well, this is so neat. And all of these different places. So do you ever take people out and about
I have
to
led,
some of these places?
I've led,
you have, haven't you?
Yeah, I've led hikes from the Y used to have hikes, and I led those hikes. The library has hikes sometimes that they do, that you can sign up for.
I just feel like sometimes some of these places that you talk about, while you're so familiar with them, it's a little intimidating for the rest of us to take off and say, "Oh, I'm going to go try to find this," and worry about getting lost.
I'm bad at giving directions too.
Yeah, well, no, not at all. But they are off the beaten path, a lot of these places. So it would be fun to head out with somebody that knows what they're doing.
Well, I'm always glad if a group wants to ask me to lead them on some of these hikes to some of these places.
Great idea. So there you go. You just call Dennis Rinehart and he'll take care of you.
The switchboard.
You should start a tour guide company or something.
Yeah. No, I enjoy showing people these things.
Well, we should be able to stop and smell the roses, as we've talked about, and we live right here. We don't have to travel that far to see some of the beauty that we live right in the middle of.
And Jackson County. It rivals Hocking County in some ways and surpasses Hocking County. And they have all the people and we don't.
I was going to say, let the tourists keep on going over there and we'll keep ours to ourselves.
Yeah, but the residents of Jackson County need to really appreciate what they have and realize what they're surrounded by.
For sure.
They really do.
For sure. Well, Dennis, thank you so much for hanging out with us
Well, thank you for having me.
I
just really enjoy doing this and showing the pictures and everything.
Hey, it's our pleasure. We love having you here. And we do have Pete Wilson here to do some news. And Pete, we started about 5 minutes late, so you have some time. But all right, well, Dennis, come back and see us soon.
I will. I'll come back anytime you want me to.
Of course. All right, well, we have another message, and we'll be back with Pete.
Did you know Jackson is home to a locally owned and operated full-service print shop? Zip Printing covers all your print, signage, and design needs. From business cards, booklets, and posters to yard signs, banners, screen-printed t-shirts, oversized signage, and more. We can help you or your business advertise and look good doing it. Zip Printing also offers logo design. Allow us to assist you in building or elevating your brand today. Zip Printing is located in the Stockmeister Plaza at 708 East Main Street in Jackson, Ohio. So stop in or give us a call at 740-286-3023.
Hello
Hello and good morning, everyone. Happy Wednesday. This is Jade with your Pure Rock weather forecast. And for today, it is expected to be partly cloudy with highs of 61 and lows of 45. For tomorrow, we are expecting a 50% chance of rain with lower temperatures of 31 and higher temperatures of 48. And for Friday, we're expecting a partly cloudy day again with highs of 43 and lows of 37, with wind spans from 5 to 15 miles per hour. Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you, Jade, for letting us know that it's going to be warm outside today. Finally.
Great day to see Ophir Falls,
yes,
right?
it is.
Yeah,
It is.
You said that.
Yep.
Good recommendation.
Yeah, heck yeah. People get out and about today. Enjoy it while it lasts.
Mm-hmm.
So, well, Pete, we didn't get to do the news yesterday, so I know that you probably have quite a bit of stuff to cover.
Yeah, I'm not going to take you to Ophir Falls, but we'll go a few other places, all right? I need to get to Ophir Falls. I always think about doing that, and
Have you been out there before?
no. Now Dennis told me how to go. I'm still a little apprehensive about making the right turn into the woods.
I know. That's how I am. I'm
But
like a little nervous about that.
But you know, the jiggers, the mosquitoes, the rattlesnakes, whatever, probably aren't out there right now.
So this is
that was a good point about when to visit.
Time to,
and also
to
the
go.
water is running. You know, you want to see falls.
Yes.
I'm sure it can vary greatly during the season depending on, you know, the rainfall and so forth.
You got it.
But anyway, we're going to take you back into the city right now. And there was a demolition project that probably some people have noticed. There it is. That is what was left
Finally.
Monday morning of the concession stand on the east end of the stadium. As people familiar with the stadium, the old high school stadium, now the middle school stadium, know that there's concession stands on both ends there where the home bleachers are. This is the side towards Huron Street.
Yes.
And that concession stand, we weren't sure when it was built. Then they saw a foundation block that said 1959.
Okay.
That was when it was built. Well, it's gone now.
Okay.
This picture was taken on Monday morning, and in the process of taking that building down, it was down in less than half a day, and that site was cleared yesterday.
Good
And
deal.
so that is clearing the way for a bigger and better
Yes.
concession stand. We can't show you a picture of what that will look like. We had a schematic, but take my word, it will be bigger and better. About a little bit more than twice as big as the old concession stand. And of course, it will have a concession stand, a ticket booth, and here is the big here is the big improvement: flush toilet bathrooms.
Bye-bye porta potties.
Right. One of the problems.
Hallelujah.
I mean, it's great that they have the middle school stadium for, you know, the lower level football, and it also serves the big Pee Wee football program here in town. But the problem was there was not outdoor building for restrooms.
Yes.
In the later days when they were playing high school games there, you went inside the high
went
school.
into
well,
the locker
you know,
rooms
they
or
go
in the high school,
they don't
yeah.
want a lot of people traipsing into
that
the
makes
school,
sense.
you know, on a Saturday. That's when they play the Pee Wee game, sometimes on Sunday even. And even on the weekday evenings for the 7th and 8th grade teams. So new building is going to be built. The goal is to have it done by about August the 1st. That'll be plenty of time
Love
for the 7th and 8th grade football. That's the middle school, but then also the Pee Wee games that also start at about the same time. And it's going to be they're going to have storage space in there for both teams, and it's also going to be with HVAC, heating and air conditioning. So,
Fancy.
because it can get a little cold as you turn into October, and of course it can be a little warm in late August. So a big upgrade there taking place at the high school or the middle school property. Now here is an angle of this story that I think is fantastic. The materials for this deal, for this concession stand, are going to be about $200,000. Everything costs a whole lot. This is materials only, all right? School is paying a big part of that. The Sideliners Club, which is the support group for the football program, the high school, middle school football program, and they also do the Pee Wees, by the way, they have made a sizable donation as well. They picked up other donations from the community when they let it be known that, we need to somehow make this happen financially. And the school, even though they wanted the facility, you're talking about a lot of money for something that's non-academic.
Right.
So they got support from the sideliners, support from the community, put it all together. You got materials. Well, you got labor. You know what? Labor is even more than materials.
Oh, it can be.
All right.
Yes.
Well, guess what? The labor is going to be provided at no charge.
That is
The main
unbelievable.
The main person, the main company making this happen is Brian Moore, school board president, and if he's listening now, he would kill me right now because he doesn't want a lot of publicity.
Thank you, Brian.
But Phil Howard outranks him and outranks me, and he wanted to make sure that he got credit.
Yes.
And it's just not Brian. Brian has subcontractors that are helping him. He'll work out something with them. But basically, the labor costs and the planning, because all this planning up front, you've been involved in building projects. You know the permitting process, the planning process, the engineering, the architecture. Before even the first dirt gets moved, that's timely and expensive. They meant to do this last year, but they ran into regulation problems. And they knew they couldn't get it done before, they needed to be playing football there. So they put it off to this year. And that's why all the school officials, top school officials that are involved administratively and with the athletic department were down there Monday morning to see the demolition start. I was there to take pictures. Sideliners Club President Gene Folden was there as well. And representatives of everybody who are going to have a hand in this thing. But anyway, if you go by now, you'll see just a dirt patch. The concession stand will go in that area. It will actually be a little bit bigger.
It's going to be so nice.
But it is going to be a very nice, and it's something where, in a football town, those kind of things happen. And that's what we have here. So Phil Howard wanted to thank everybody who made that happen. Brian Moore, obviously, is a big player. Brian Moore made, we'll just call it a significant contribution to the girls' softball hitting facility that's up on the hill.
Yep.
He is the school board president, but he's also a local contractor, and he just believes, especially in school things and giving back. And his contracting company is not only doing the work along with other subcontractors, but he also did all the planning work on the front end. And once again, Phil Howard said this: it would not have happened without that contribution.
Yep.
So that will be happening. Probably construction, you might see that starting as soon as next week.
Okay.
Okay, a couple other things we want to tell you real quick before we run out of time. In today's paper, I want to credit Jeremiah Shaver for doing a lot of work covering what is now a big issue in the city of Wellston, and that is police dispatching, the future of police dispatching.
It's a whole thing.
Right now, police dispatching is done in-house there at the Wellston City Building. They're down in the basement. The police department is there. Dispatchers work just as they do in Jackson, out of the department, out of the building. Mayor Anthony Brenner of Wellston, he's responsible for a lot of things, and he's looking at the budget. This is one of the things he has in mind. He says that the city could save $100,000 if they go to the dispatching center in Jackson, where the sheriff's office has a 911 dispatching center, and they've proposed before having everybody there.
Yeah.
And right now they do all the fire, and they do, of course, the county through the sheriff. So Anthony Brenner says if we go there, we'll save some money, and it's going to be tight. We don't want to have to cut police officers. We don't want to have to cut some other things. We can still get dispatching done and also save some money at the same time. Okay. You can imagine, though, on the other side, you got, people concerned about their jobs, 2 or 3 dispatchers there at least. So at this last council meeting, you had Mayor Brenner, and he says he's going to give more reasons why the city ought to do this, but he talked mainly about finances, all right, that angle. Also at this meeting, the wife of the senior dispatcher in the Wellston Police Department, Gwendolyn Mullet, was there to speak on behalf of the dispatchers and why it's good to keep it there, not just employment, but all the things the dispatchers do in-house to support the police officers. Also speaking was the union representative from the Teamsters who represents the dispatchers as their union rep, and he was giving some legality reasons and contractual reasons why, you might not want to take this step. So council is going to have to figure it out. Council is going to have to approve the contract. There's already a contract written up that's been presented to the commissioners. They're sitting on it until, the debate goes out. But anyway, my point is Jeremiah Shaver has written 2 stories, one kind of on the pro side, one on the con side of this proposal to move the dispatching, and that is on page 4 of today's paper.
Okay.
And if you want to understand that issue and not just, maybe go on some superficial comment you might see on Facebook or whatever.
No.
Both sides are there.
Well, you understand both sides of the argument and why people would be concerned either way.
Right, exactly. Well, it's all there, and like anything else, if you're being broad-minded and fair, you can make arguments both ways that stick. But anyway, corollary to that I want to mention, they were going to have a finance committee meeting in Wellston tomorrow evening at 5:00. They've had to cancel that, but the purpose of the meeting was to discuss the police dispatching issue, or at least I would assume the financial related issues.
Sure.
Exactly how much could they save and would it be worth it and all like that. They may discuss the issue broader than that too, but it is the finance committee.
Okay.
That meeting, which we had in the paper and it was even on the radio once, we've had to postpone that because the chair of the committee has had a death in the family.
Okay.
And so they put that off to next week, I believe.
Just postponed.
Right, to March the 5th. And they will have that meeting then, I think, at 5:00 at the city building. And they do invite the public to come if they want to weigh in. And there is some public interest in this. If you go on social media, you can see people commenting on this. The other thing I wanted to tell you, bad news. Not tragic news, bad news, sports side. The Jackson Ironmen were upset last night in the district tournament. They lost to Waverly 51-49. Now, I'll say mild upset because Waverly's got a pretty good daggone team. Didn't have the record Jackson did, but they got a young team and they're getting better. They had a freshman kid by the name of Gage Alexander who was just like Isaiah Thomas last night.
Okay.
He played so well, had 22 points, made a bunch of free throws at the end to keep him ahead. And then when the score was tied, after Jax Carroll of Jackson had made a 3-point shot to tie it up with about 15 seconds to go, he came down with 2.2 seconds and made the winning basket.
Ugh.
Beat Jackson 51-49. So the Ironmen are out of it. They did finish 17-6, but for Jackson basketball, this is after 16 wins last year. So Coach Max Morrow and the boys had a great season. They wish it wouldn't have ended, but unfortunately it did. 51-49. All of our basketball teams, girls and boys, are out. We're ready for spring sports, but we will pay attention at the paper too. There is interest in the tournament games. Other area teams are still involved.
Absolutely.
So there we are, Jennifer. We will try to play more catch up tomorrow.
Well, thank you, Pete, so much. It's been a fun day. Thanks to the Cub Scouts. Thanks to Dennis Rinehart and, of course, yourself for coming in and hanging with us. And all of you did pretty good too.
All right. Well, see, what you can do is you can go to the Cub Scout dinner. Or the Cub Scout dinner on Wednesday and eat noodles and then walk it off at Ophir Falls.
There you go.
There
I
you
love
go.
that.
All right.
All right. Well, have a great day, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you right back here tomorrow. Bye-bye.